If you're listening to the replay of this live, be sure to punch that like and subscribe button and let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. Hi, welcome to the channel. I'm Jay, and this is our 2 cents, where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's video, in today's live, we will be talking about the big fight tonight. Well, big fight, depending on who you ask. Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. And make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as I go throughout the video. So, welcome everybody for joining me today on this Saturday morning. About to be afternoon pretty soon. I want to hop up here real quick, discuss the fight card tonight. I want everybody to come up and give me their 2 cents about what they think about the fight. Now, I was supposed to go live last night because I want to go live the day before the big fights, but I wasn't feeling too well. I feel a tad bit better now, but not 100%. But I want to come up here and chop it up with y'all about this fight tonight because I've been a little under the weather, so I haven't been able to post no videos or really do too much of anything this week. But how is everybody doing? Make sure you punch that like and subscribe button while you're here on the channel. And if you like what you're hearing, you can always donate in the Cash App to help support the channel. I know not everybody's able to Cash App, but you can always hit that punch that like and subscribe button because that is absolutely free. We got All Things in the building. What up, All Things? We got Andre Smith. What's going on, Andre? How y'all doing today? Melvin Air Podcast in the building. What's going on, y'all? What is going on? Man, there's been a lot going on in these boxing streets lately. There's been a lot of everything but boxing seems. I don't want to go over too much stuff today because I do want to save it for my Sunday show. I just want to come on here today and talk about the Canelo Alvarez card. So, what's y'all thoughts on the fight tonight? What's y'all 2 cents? And then what y'all think about the intro? Who's seen the intro? What y'all think about the intro? I'm trying to, spruce it up, get a little better, get the show more exciting, get the production up. So let me know your 2 cents about what you thought about the intro. And let me say this. The last time I was on here and I was saying I would like to get a soundboard, there was a lot of donations to the channel. And with those donations, I was able to get a soundboard. So I got a soundboard. Nothing too expensive or exciting, but I did get a soundboard. And like I told y'all before, all donations to this channel will be used to improving the audio and video quality of the channel. Eventually, I will have a podcast studio and I will cut the camera on, but not right now. I'm still trying to figure out how to use the soundboard. So once I get it hooked up, I definitely will let y'all know. Let's see, Melvin Air Podcast say Canelo whooping that ass. He gonna carry Berlanga stoppage by the 9th. All Things say I can't see Berlanga getting the win tonight and would be shocked if he did. Now, if Berlanga won tonight, would that be the biggest upset? I mean, I don't know. I think people feel like the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney was a big upset. Me personally, I didn't think it was a big upset because I thought Ryan Garcia was going to beat Devin Haney. But then you throw in the Austrian in the mix, so that kind of clouds it or whatever. But would this be the biggest upset in the last decade? Can you think of a bigger upset? I'm not going to lie. The Terrence Crawford Earl Spence fight was kind of an upset for me, but I mean that was a fight he could have went either way. So it wasn't like I just knew that Earl Spence was gonna wash. But Crawford, like everybody's saying, Berlanga don't deserve to fight. He don't deserve to be in the ring. He had a bad fight with such and such. He just a hype job. I mean, everybody is talking down on Berlanga. OD1. I seen EJ posted. I'm trying to not talk about all the topics I want to talk about on my Sunday show, but EJ put the whole 154, 160 division on notice. But we got to be real. We got to be realistic in our expectations of Earl the True Spence Jr. He is not Superman. However, let me say this. Let me caveat with this little caveat. If Earl the True Spence Jr. come back and is able to win a belt, just one, he don't got to unify. He don't got to do none of that. He is the comeback king. He is the comeback king. This man has overcome bad lifestyle, car accidents, multiple, a beat down. I mean, what? Listen, I'm gonna talk about that more tomorrow. D1, don't get me started. Don't get me started, D1. Let's see who else we got in the building. All right. If Berlanga beat Canelo, that's the biggest upset since Fury versus Klitschko. Was that a big upset, Fury versus Klitschko? D1 say, I hear you. I don't think people that frequent chaps understand how hard it is to live stream and not spill all your content. Yeah, I'm telling you. Because, people pop up and say something, you just want to start going off on it. But I'm trying to save it for tomorrow. We want to talk about this fight tonight. I kind of wanted to show some clips from the press conference, but I just don't be feeling like doing all that because I feel like y'all have already seen them all. Put a one in the chat if you want me to pull up some clips from the press conference and we can go over it. B-Dog say it may be big. It may not be as big as an upset as Andy over AJ. I really think that the Andy Ruiz fight, when I was looking at that, I was like, I don't know why they sleeping on Andy Ruiz like that. He can fight. He got fast hands. It wasn't like Andy was sorry or nothing. And I think he would have beat AJ in the rematch if he wasn't Bush. I think he would have beat AJ in the rematch. But he was BSing around partying with that money. Cheating on his girl. He said it would be up there pretty high and upset because Canelo is just levels above him, in my opinion. I don't think Canelo gonna lose. I mean, sometimes you got to think about the storyline of boxing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it could happen though, but they definitely would do a rematch, and that definitely would be a big fight. D1 say it's harder than people think to hit that live button. I promise, man. Listen, I was sitting here looking at this microphone for a couple minutes. I ain't gonna lie to you. It looked easy though. But it's really not. It's really not that easy, especially if you want to have like, a decent channel and you want to continue to improve your lives. You want to continue to be more engaging. You want to be creative and figure out ways how to be different from other panels and stuff like that. I mean, it does take effort. It's definitely not that easy. You want to, well, I can't say this about all channels, but I know I would like to be informed about the topics I'm talking about, even though this is a platform where, let me clear this up too while I'm bringing it up. This is a platform, 2 Cents Boxing, where everybody can come and give their opinions on the current things that are happening and going down in boxing, or maybe even historical things or old things that we talk about. I want to get this straight, where my place is or what category I'm under in these YouTube streets. I'm not a boxing analyst. I'm not a boxing historian. I'm not a none of that. But I do like to make informed opinions on what it is that I'm talking about. And I do like for people to come over here and give their opinion on what it is that we're talking about. Of course, we can debate back and forth. We can go back and forth. But understand, everything is subjective. Every now and then, I might get a little breaking news from a source. I don't know if y'all seen the video, but I heard from a bird that Terrence Bud Crawford and Sebastian Fundora will be fighting in Vegas on December 14th. You can do what you will with that information. I'm just telling you that's what I was told by sources, but that really wouldn't happen too often. I don't got a bunch of sources. I don't get a bunch of news and things like that. I just speak on whatever it is that's floating around the YouTube streets, and then I'm always interested to hear other people's opinions about it, because it's very interesting to me how hundreds of people can hear the same information, and hundreds of people can see the same situations and feel so differently about them and have so many different opinions and perspectives on it. I've always thought that was interesting about boxing because boxing is so subjective. So don't be running around these panels saying 2 cents said. Don't do that to me, y'all. I'm not no analyst, no none of that. Everything over here is opinion based. We're a chat based channel. I do have things that I would like to talk about, but I'm more interested in what you guys would like to talk about. And when I drop the link, make sure you hop up on the panel and come up and give your 2 cents. And hey, if you want to go back and forth, if you want to debate and we could debate our opinions, then that's cool. I'm willing to do that too. But don't just think that I'm over here and my word is 100%. I wouldn't take anybody's word per se on these YouTube streets as 100%. All things say, man down still, EJ can bounce back 100. Okay, so Melvin Air Podcast say, so do you think that Shaducky injury is legit? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think Shakur Stevenson injury is legit. And I'm gonna tell you why. Even though, hold on. Because I might pull up that. Let me see what y'all say about the video. Okay, but anyway. So when you watch the video to me looks a little sus. You get what I'm saying? It looks like, okay. So the question about the video is that where you really hurt your hand? That's my question, because what I believe is that Shakur Stevenson hands have been hurt and he probably has been needed a surgery, and he is maybe using it as some type of tactic to do whatever they're doing. I haven't really just deep dived into it and put my conspiracy hat on. And that's another thing I like to do over here. I like to put my conspiracy hat on and kind of maneuver around and see, like, let's look at it from this perspective. Let's look at it from this perspective. So let's look at it from this perspective. He been injured. I heard Tim Bradley say recently that Shakur Stevenson had an injury. He just wasn't telling nobody. It was had injuries that he just wasn't telling nobody. He had the Joe Cordina fight, got a lot of backlash. They tried to run the whole. They tried to put a pay-per-view card. I mean, they tried to put an undercard on pay-per-view. I haven't heard many people talking about that. I guess I should have made a video about that. But these ninjas tried to put a pay-per-view. I mean, tried to put an undercard on pay-per-view. Where do they do that at? Where do they do that at? And they really thought that they was about to get away with it. So he had a lot of backlash for the fight. Then you had the whole thing where it was gonna have to be pay-per-view and all of that. And boom, here come the surgery. So do I think his injury is legit? Absolutely. Do I think the timing of the injury is legit is the question. And I'm not sure about that. But I think that, considering the fact that he's had hand problems, it seems as though he's had hand problems since he moved up to 35, unless he could have been having them at 130. He just didn't say nothing. So this could have been going on for a while, and he picked this time to go ahead and get the surgery. And again, this is one of my topics for tomorrow. So I'm going to elaborate that on tomorrow. But that's the answer to your question. That's what I think. What you think? Salute 2 cents in the chat. I got Canelo by KOD. Gil Cole's in the building. What's going on? Yeah, I don't know how people could not root for Earl Spence, but I have to just off general principle. Yeah, just off GP. And then this is my thing too. While we talking about that, we're gonna get to the fight card in a minute. Every time you bring up Earl Spence, they keep saying, oh, he didn't live a boxer's lifestyle. He didn't live a boxer's lifestyle. Guys, what does that mean? How many boxers live this perfect boxer lifestyle, y'all? Y'all gotta stop that. How many boxers don't smoke, don't drink, don't party? Like, how many boxers actually do that? The great ones, y'all. Now, I'm not saying Earl Spence ain't great, but I'm just saying Even the great ones drink, smoke, party, and do all that. Let's stop trying to act like Earl Spence was the only boxer that didn't live a boxer's lifestyle. I never hear people say that about Canelo Alvarez. This man got a whole liquor company. The man got a liquor company. The man advertises his own liquor company during his fights. I mean, can we stop? That is a mute talking point, and I shut everybody down when they hear it. When I hear it, because I'm like, y'all gotta stop that. To live a boxer's lifestyle. Listen, that didn't stop him from getting them 3 belts. That didn't stop him from running through the 47 division, beating all the champions. Come on, y'all, with that. Y'all gotta stop that. The Melvin Air Podcast say, I got a whole production going live. Trust me, I got it. It's way easier being a listener. Oh, absolutely. But hey, since you say you got a whole production, I need help with this soundboard, Melvin Air Podcast, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but it don't be sounding right to me. I thought it shouldn't be that hard. D1 say, I absolutely love your channel, the premise, everything. It will blow up too. I can't wait. Appreciate it, D1. Absolutely appreciate it. Melvin there say 100. I subscribe. I go live too. It's tough, bro, but I'm getting better every time. Yeah, I'm getting better. I'm definitely getting better. I'm trying to get some production going. D1 say his hand's definitely broken. It was definitely a real-time injury. So, from my understanding, the injury is he tore tendons in his knuckles, apparently. But the thing is if you've already needed to tend to this and you just kept fighting, you only made it worse, and worse. So he probably been knowing, hey, it's probably like, hey, listen, I'm an athlete. I've been an athlete my whole life. So when you got an injury and something hurt and you just like, I'm gonna ice it, I'm gonna stretch, I'm gonna do a few little physical therapy exercise, but the doctor told you probably should get this surgery to get this done. But you can still compete with it. But you're just making it worse and worse and worse until the point to where you're going to injure it to where you absolutely have to get the surgery. Most majority of athletes, 100% of athletes are competing in some type of pain and some type of injury because you're putting your body through strenuous exercise and activity on the daily to prepare for conversation. And my son boxes, and I got to get them to understand that because he started boxing probably 2 years ago. Pretty good boxer. They got some talent. And he always come up here and like, oh my God, elbow. Oh, again. I tell him like, I don't know. Listen, I don't want to hear about every little nagging injury you have. I don't. Because you're going to, first of all, you're fighting. You're going to have injuries, bro. Like, you don't need to tell me about every little nagging injury. Every time you come tell me about something, I'll be like, you soft. And he started laughing. But I don't want to hear about your injuries every day. It happens. D1 say I'm going to post a link because this isn't my main page. Okay. Drop the link, D1. So he said he definitely got shitty punching technique. That's the only way you break that in them kind of gloves. What that kind of wraps and gel padding. He got bad punching technique. I don't even understand that. How can you have this great defense and I don't understand how you can have bad punching technique when you've been to the Olympics. You got these quote unquote great fundamental skills. You the best defensive fighter. How you got bad punching technique? My question be is, how do a lot of these boxers continue to have the same like little fundamental errors that me and you can see as boxing fans, but they coaches can't see? I don't understand why they don't ever fix them. When I watch my son fight, I tell him, man, you keep dropping that left hand. Like, you need to fix that. You need to work on that. So I don't know if they just can't ever fix those things or if they never work on it. All right, there's the Melvin Air Podcast. Y'all go ahead and hit that link and go check him out over there when he go live. Somebody say them $15 pay-per-views wasn't matching. So hold on, y'all. Let me pull up something real quick. But I don't know why your punching technique is bad. You telling me you over there working with Bud Crawford and your punch? You don't know how to punch? What the hell? You over there training with the best fighter on the planet, and he's sitting there watching you not know how to punch. Says this is not my live page either. Angry White Man YouTube is me and William Old School. We angry. That's funny. I gotta come check y'all out. When y'all live? Say all these boxes is smoking weed nowadays. And D1, but hold on. That's another thing I brought up when somebody brought up this boxing lifestyle thing. I'm like, y'all know all them boxers in the 80s was on coke. I know them boys was coked up in the ring. Y'all know they was coked up in the ring. They was in there throwing a million gazillion punches. Jill Cole say I still want Spence versus Thurman before they retire. That would be listen, Spence versus Thurman would be a fight people want to see. They both have been through all kind of injuries. I even think Keith got in a car accident too. But Earl said he's not fighting Keith Thurman. I just seen them a while ago, like not like long ago, but recently, not too recently, but you get what I'm trying to say. He was talking to Sean Porter, and he told Sean Porter he never fighting Keith Thurman. I wish he would. But I'm gonna say it for tomorrow. Melvin the Podcast say I'm a huge EJ fan. Tyson ain't live a boxing lifestyle either. It's so many boxers that don't live no damn boxing lifestyle. I get sick of hearing that. When you got Canelo Alvarez, who's fighting tonight, that has a whole liquor company that he promotes on his own fights. Somebody tell me if you've ever heard anybody say Canelo Alvarez don't live a boxing lifestyle. Nobody ever says that. Is he because he's winning? Because nobody was talking about this. He don't live a boxing lifestyle until after he lost. Now all of a sudden the reason why he lost is because he didn't live a boxing lifestyle. It's crazy. Say I'm a huge EJ fan. Tyson ain't okay. Yeah, I read that. It says, trust me, I am a prolific stoner. I grow some of the best marijuana anybody ever seen. I know when people are getting high. Okay. D1, what state you in? B-Dog say, B-Dog in the building. What's going on, B-Dog? Hold on. I think I got a little sound, so when y'all come in here, I can hit it. All right, B-Dog in the building. He say maybe the injury is divine intervention, 2 cents. Divine intervention. Divine intervention from what? From fighting Cordina? But it's so much to talk about with that Shakur situation. What's going on with this? Hold on, y'all. Okay, here we go. It's so much to talk about with that Shakur situation because now you got to think about what does this mean with him in Matchroom? What does this mean for the Tank fight? But y'all come back and join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. where I will be discussing all of my thoughts about that. Today I wanted to talk about the Canelo Alvarez card. I haven't heard nobody even mention about the other fights in the card. What y'all think about the Rolly fight? What about Danny Garcia versus Laura? Now listen, this is my thing about Danny Garcia versus Laura. I like both. I'm a fan of Danny and Laura. I think that Laura's gonna win, and let me tell you why I think Laura's gonna win. One, Danny Garcia has been out of the ring too long. 2 years is too long. And if I've realized anything, is that the older these fighters get, the longer layoffs really, really affect them more so than the young fighters. And then I heard his pop say, shout out to Angel Garcia. I believe he recently had a stroke. I seen him in an interview. He got really emotional, talking about what he had been through. And he talked about how much it would mean for him to see Danny Garcia win another belt and that this may be the last time. he gets to see Danny Garcia fight. And I was like, man, like I feel like Angel Garcia puts a lot of pressure on Danny Garcia, but maybe he's used to it. So, um, hold on. Uh-oh, D1 say I got the same soundboard problems. Ah, D1, come on. It's called boxer knuckle. I've had it happen to both my hands. Recently, my right hand, it took 11 months to heal, and I don't throw punches like he does. Wait a minute. It took 11 months to heal. Was that because you didn't get any surgery or whatever? I got some questions, D1. But I also didn't want to spend 50 on the surgery, so that's why it took so long. Oh, okay. Y'all stay blessed. I'm listening. Got some chores to do. All right, D1, go on, do them Saturday chores. You know how I go. There go D1 link. Y'all check it out. So I don't think that video helped the optics of his injury either. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, this is the thing. I'm not saying he didn't injure his hand in the video, but what I believe was his hand was already injured. And then he just put the cherry on the top, and now he has to get the surgery because he's no longer gonna be able to perform with that injury. D1, what real quick before you get to your chores, like could you still go, or like did you hurt it and then you just fought to a point to where it just got too bad and you couldn't do it anymore? Like what was that process? Real quick before you go. Say Shakur be giving people psyops when he show Bud and Andre Ward with him. Yeah, so that's another thing. You got Andre Ward and you telling me you punching with the wrong technique. But Andre Ward, I didn't see Mayweather, some of the best fighters in the game, and they watching you fight, letting you walk around and punch with the wrong technique. That's crazy. Fridays, 10 p.m. Eastern. Thanks, Jay. I'm in the back listening. All right, D1. So he's still gonna duck tank. Listen, join me tomorrow at 5 p.m. so we can go more in depth about the Shakur Stevenson injury and the future of the tank fight. Gil Cole say Earl need to cut it out and make that fight with Thurman. I know he held it against Thurman when he didn't get a shot, but Keith never ever said he wouldn't fight him. Listen, hold on, y'all. My computer dying. Earl Spence seems to be one of the most stubborn people. But I don't know. Maybe he might fight him. But Earl Spence is usually true to his word. And if he say he not gonna do something, or he say he gonna do something, that's exactly how it go down. Old school. Old school. All right, let's see. Hold on, y'all. Let me charge it up. All right, there we go. Hold on. All right. Laura gonna be the first to stop Danny. Oh yeah, that's what we was talking about, Laura and Danny. So that's what happened. Angel Garcia say, hey, this may be the last time he gets to see Danny fight, and I feel like that's a lot of pressure on Danny. But what really stood out to me that Angel Garcia said is that they don't spar a lot, and that the Cubans spar a lot, and a lot of them be punch drunk. And I can tell you, my sons are in a Cuban boxing gym. They spar 3 times a week, and when my son goes to compete, I can definitely see the difference in the kids that he's fighting, because the guys from our gym, they're a lot more aggressive. It's like they're a lot more battle ready than the other amateur kids that they're fighting. But however, to a certain extent, I do agree with Angel Garcia. Maybe now I'm cool with my son doing the hard sparring because he's just starting out. He needs to get the rounds in. They're younger, all of that. But as you get older, you probably shouldn't do a bunch of hard sparring. But my question was, so Danny Garcia has been out of the ring for the last 2 years. Are you telling me he hasn't been sparring? And he's only been sparring for this camp? So you come in with a 2-year layoff. You ain't been sparring, and you only been sparring for this camp. I don't understand. We got Banks, the boxing fan, in the building. What's going on, Banks, the boxing fan? We got Chef Curry in the building. What's going on, Chef Curry in the building? Salute Queen at 2 Cents Boxing and Chat. Blessings to all. It's been a minute, but hopefully tonight will be a great night of boxing. Which cards, which fights are y'all looking forward to seeing on the cards is my question. Is my question. There's a link so everybody can hop up here and get a 2 cents about tonight's cards. Rick Timms in the chat. What's going on, Rick Timms? Time out with Mr. Moss in the building. What up, Mr. Moss? So, with that being said, about what Angel Garcia said about the sparring and all of that, is he going to win this fight? Says, nah, I don't see Danny getting stopped. I still got Laura winning, though. He been out the ring 2 years, Rick, and he ain't been sparring. He ain't been sparring. I think that's gonna be a big deal. We got Mr. Moss in the building. What's going on?
Hey, what's up, 2 cents?
That's you on the motorcycle?
Yeah, I just bought a new one a couple weeks ago. That's a new Harley.
Ooh.
Thank you. Always enjoy your channel. Always enjoy your insight. I'm with you. Listen, Laura's range, his distance, that straight left, his foot movement, right? Laura's distance control is going to give Danny problems, right? And I don't think Laura's going to. Well, listen, I can see maybe Danny getting stopped by TKO where he's taking too much punishment, to be honest with you. Danny is too mechanical for Laura. Laura is just too. Listen, I love that Cuban style boxing that Laura brings. Now, Laura, listen, both these guys are older. But I do think that, and also too, Danny's moving up in weight, right? And so that's a big deal to me as well.
And he's moving up in weight. So hold on, Mr. Moss.
Yeah.
2-year layoff.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't been sparring, allegedly, according to Angel Garcia.
Right. That doesn't bode well. The only chance he has is if Laura throws a shot and stands in the pocket too long and Danny lands a lucky left hook. But Laura's defense is too on point for that to happen, in my opinion. So I'm very interested to see Danny get his ass kicked.
And Danny fight like his feet stuck in the mud.
Yes. Listen, and that's why I use the angles and distance and the pivoting of Laura is going to give Danny issues. Like you're going to see Danny have to reset all night long. I see Laura just pot shotting, getting off, taking a step back, and making Danny reset all night long. I'll be honest with you, the Rolly Romero fight. Anytime he fights 2 cents, it's just entertaining. And so
yeah, Rolly's entertaining.
It has nothing to do with boxing with him. He's just entertaining, right? And so for me, I'm not even interested in the Canelo Berlanga fight. I'm really not, because to me it's going to be the same thing, right? 2 or 3 good rounds. It's going to be competitive. Berlanga may be up 2-1, 3-1. It is what it is. But after 4 or 5 rounds, we know what it is, right? High guard, come forward, walk you down, and it's going to going straight to the body. You know what I'm saying? Break you down. Maybe rounds 8 or 9, he gets him up out of there. And so I see a very similar situation to when he fought Caleb Plant, right? So, I'm not even interested in obviously I'm going to watch it, but I'm more excited for the 2 other fights with Rolly, that clown show, and then Danny and Laura, in my opinion.
PGH, big dog in the building. What's going on, PGH? He says, Danny just here for the check. Laura gonna school him. Says, Laura gotta show me. Danny has a solid chin, in action or not. Now, Danny does have a solid chin. Listen, this is gonna be an interesting fight. Maybe it might go all 12. I think if it go all 12 though, Laura will get the decision. But we'll see. I heard Danny Garcia say people say he don't throw a lot of punches, but he threw 750 punches his last two fights. So we'll see what happens. We shall see. Let's see. Laura stopped his last three opponents. I believe I don't got him getting knocked out, but I can definitely see a TKO. Laura is sitting on ish. But listen, about the Rolly, Moss, let me ask you a question.
Yeah,
Did you not think that Rolly's performance against Pitbull was his best performance?
his best
He used
performance.
the jab. His footwork was better.
Uh
I mean, I
huh.
felt like that's the best I ever seen Rolly fight. To be honest
You know
with you.
what? Okay, so when you say that, just on face value, when people hear that, they're gonna say, "What are you talking about?" But us true boxing fans understood what we saw in that ring, even though he didn't execute what he was trying to do the right way. But yeah, I did see the jab. I did see something coming behind the jab. Um, from a technical standpoint, yeah, I thought that was one of his better fights because he was more technical that fight. My only issue is if you apply pressure on Rolly, then his defense is pretty much non-existent. He kind of gets flustered and fluttered when guy is smothering him with punches coming forward. And a style like Pitbull Cruz is going to give a lot of people issues, unless you just have supreme boxing talent like Jose Benavidez had when he just beat Pitbull Cruz. But on face value, 2 cents. No, I totally understand what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, from a technical aspect of just pure boxing, yeah. I mean, it looked like he was like better, but you still have to execute what you're doing. But yeah, I can see that. That makes sense.
Yeah, he got better, and I was like,
Yeah, he got better.
he got better. That's and this is the point that I'm making is that yeah, we mess with Rolly, we he got the antics, and we mess with him about his skills. But what you can say is that he's in the gym working because he's getting better.
Hmm. I
So
agree with that.
to me, I feel like he is taking the sport serious.
Yeah.
He
Do
does
you know
take it
when you
serious.
start? Do you know the age in which he started boxing? Because I've never really knew what that age was. Because I mean, just imagine
I
Rolly
don't know. He
Memorial.
was older though. He was
Yeah, he
older,
was
like
older,
maybe
right? Yeah.
15.
Okay. Okay. So late then. Because imagine him with some type of skill set with that power. I mean, he would be a damn good boxer. I think
But
his
I think he
IQ
was
just
a
isn't there.
martial artist before.
Oh, okay.
Like he did some kind of martial art, I believe.
Yeah.
And I also said, I've said this, he needs a new trainer. He need to get away from Bullet. I
I
said
agree with
that.
that too. Yeah, I
And
agree with
once
that.
he got away from Bullet, you see, and that was his first fight with that trainer that he had. So once he got
Hmm.
away from Bullet, you seen the difference in his fighting style. So I know people give Rolly a hard time, and he don't got the greatest chin, and he don't got the greatest boxing skills, but he is entertaining, and he is gonna be competitive. He's coming to fight. He's not just coming in there to get no check.
No, he's not, and he does a great job at selling his fights. So, I mean, you kind of kill two birds with one stone. He's probably one of the rare guys in the sport of boxing who can take losses and still get fights moving forward because of how he conducts himself.
Right,
So,
right.
I mean, he's not like blackballed in the sport. I mean, he'll continue to get fights because of just how he operates. So, good for him.
He's like a poor man's AB.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. That's a great comparison. Yeah, great comparison.
Rick Timms 3 say this is only Danny's second fight since 2020. With that information alone, I will put my money on Laura. Back in the day, I might be like, nah, it could be but what I've learned is that listen, these layoffs, this inactivity, it matters, especially with these older fighters. You've only fought 2 times in 4 years? Come on. Y'all gotta stop it. And but you know what? I want to bring this up too. That's the one main thing that I don't like about PBC is that these fighters are inactive and then they offer them these great opportunities when they're not in a position to take full advantage of them. I don't understand that, but like that's the one thing I'm like, Al, like what the fuck? Like, why do y'all do that? Like you're gonna put Danny in a fight for a championship knowing he's been inactive for 2 years. And then I heard Angel Garcia say Danny wanted to fight. The only reason why he's been inactive is because the politics of boxing. So it's like you want me to I got if I'm a PBC fight, I gotta overcome the impossible to try to be back on top. I don't understand that. That's the one thing I don't really get about them. Says if you think that was staged, Chef Curry changed basketball, you should probably just stick to basketball. Why would he fake an injury to duck out of a $3 million payday? He wouldn't. D1, I don't know, man. I'm excited for these fights today. Even the Canelo fight got a little intrigue to me. He's old. He's been through a lot of fights, and Berlanga is young and keen to punch. And that's what a lot of people keep banking on is that one day they're going to hop in the ring with Canelo and he going to be old and get his ass whooped. Listen, even Eddie Hearn know Berlanga don't got a shot to win this fight. When he was talking to Leonard Ellerby, which I thought was a great moment to see them talking, he said, well, we're going to get in there Saturday night and roll the dice. So they're going to get in there and roll the dice. That means it's a gamble.
Right. Right. I like Berlanga. I mean, he's from New York, right? I mean, I like his demeanor. I like his confidence. But in the sport of boxing, skills pays the bills. And just right now, there's levels to this, and I just feel like right now, and I'm not even a Canelo fan. I don't like the guy, but I can't go against his boxing acumen. The guy can box with the best of them, and so I'm trying to tell you, after 4 or 5 rounds, look for the high guard, come forward, catching shots on the elbows from Canelo, throwing body shots of his own to Berlanga, going upstairs, changing levels, and then maybe 6, 7, between 7, 8, 9, and 10, you're going to see a TKO. I don't think you're going to get a knockout per se, but it's going to be a stoppage by the refs. That's my prediction.
Rick Tim say, will Laura at age 41 have enough output to stop Danny? We shall see. I
What?
see it going 12, Laura win.
Output?
Listen, Laura, even though Laura is 41, I feel
Right.
like I see a lot of Cubans fighting in their older ages. Or like they age a little different. And then Angel Garcia was like, I don't even know if Laura 41. You know them Cubans be lying about their age.
Well, not just that, 2 cents, but Lower ain't took punishment like that in the sport of boxing. I mean, I think his most punishment fight was what versus damn it, was it? I forgot his name. Jarrett Hurd beat him, I think. Other than that fight, I mean, he hasn't taken punishment. I mean, and again, Laura's going to be boxing and moving, you know what I'm saying, like pot shotting. And so the thing is, can Danny Garcia touch Laura enough to win the fight and score points? And he's so flat-footed and plotty. I don't think so. So no, I think this is going to be an easy match for Laura. It's going to be a fought at distance. You're going to see jabs and straight lefts from Laura, foot movement, pivoting, making Danny reset. And I see Danny being frustrated all night. This is going to be an easy win for Laura. Ain't worried one bit.
Thomas Hill in the building. Shout out to the women giving boxing her 2 cents. Good sister. 2 cents boxing's blessings. What's going on? Say Rolly was built by Floyd Mayweather to be a Mayorga type of guy where the talking sells the fight. Yeah, he did judo. Yeah, he did judo. So he used to do judo. So let's check this out real quick. Let me see if it pop up on the screen. Y'all see it?
Yeah, I can see it. 2 cents.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait.
So, what do y'all think about the Caleb Plant fight? Hold on. I want to know y'all 2 cents about the Caleb Plant McCumbee fight. And let me say this about Caleb Plant. I am a fan of Caleb Plant, but I can't decide on if I like Caleb Plant or not because I feel like Caleb Plant likes to put himself in positions where he appears to be the victim, but he's really a bully. Like he throwing rocks and hiding his hands. And I'm watching him with this McCumbee guy. They going back and forth, and McCumbee with that mustache looks weird. He look like a '70s porn
Yeah,
star.
for sure.
I'm
Yeah,
like, why you got that haircut? Like, why you got that
yeah.
mustache? Like, the dude looks like he's an imposter.
hmm I'm not too familiar with McConney, and so I'm going to pick Caleb to win this fight. He should win the fight. So I admit I haven't done my homework or research on his opponent. That's my fault. I should have done that. But I mean, I think he's favored, by all betting odds. And you make a great point. Caleb Plant has been in too many situations outside the ring, into it with guys, personal vendettas and confrontations, for my liking. And so, yeah, he plays the role and plays the victim. But yeah, so I don't like his antics outside the square circle. But he is a good boxer. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, he lost to Canelo. But this is the guy that he should beat and should beat easy. And so we'll see. Again, Caleb is a boxer, puncher per se, more of a boxer. He can move well, good feet. You know what I'm saying? His punching power isn't the best. He did knock out Darrell, but he's not your typical one punch knockout artist. And so again, we should see a guy who's going to stick and move, punch, use his distance, jabs, straight shots, go to the body, pivot, make this guy reset. And so, can I see a TKO in rounds 8, 9, or 10? Yeah. But am I predicting just a one punch knockout? I mean, it's possible, but I'm going to lean towards either a decision where he gets his ass kicked, McConney, or it's going to be a TKO in the late rounds, 9, 10, or 11.
Let me get 2 more likes. We got 20 people in here. I got 18 likes. Somebody
Hit
hit
the
the
like button,
like button.
people.
Let
Come
me
on.
get 2 more likes. So
Sure.
my only thing, Caleb Plant, he just pisses off everybody, man. He's such an agitator. Like, he just pisses off everybody. He up there arguing and pissing off every opponent. I'm like, Caleb, dude, chill. But I mean, we'll see. We'll see. Caleb gonna mess around and piss off the wrong person and get his ass whooped. That's what's gonna happen. Say, man, Berlanga just got him an uptick in pay scale to be a victim of a KO for hire. Canelo by 7 through 9. Oh, this is what I wanted to do, read. If Rolly lose again tonight, especially by KO, he must go to Jake Paul circuit route. I don't think they putting Rolly in. I think this is a showcase fight for Rolly. I think this is a showcase fight for Rolly. Hopefully he gets the victory and then he's able to move on. Says Canelo has freaking 496 rounds of pro experience, while Berlanga barely has 72. No way he is going to overcome that much experience. Canelo is going to spark this guy up out of there by 8 or before. But Rick Timms, they say Canelo,
Right.
them 496 rounds of experience ain't gonna matter because he gonna be looking old in the ring. Now, what does Canelo looking old mean? Does that mean he gonna be slower, less powerful? And why do y'all think that? Just because he looking old, he still can't whoop Berlanga ass? I don't understand.
Right. I mean, being old, I mean, okay. I mean, I don't think Berlanga is on that level. I mean, so 496 rounds, yeah, it's a lot of rounds. And being old could just mean that, Oh, go ahead, Greg. Go ahead. I'll let Greg go.
We got Greg Water Bomb in the building.
What's happening, 2 Cent and Mr. Moss? I'm happy to hear y'all and see y'all. I've
Hey,
been
Greg.
for y'all for a while. Where y'all been at? Good grief. Hey, I just got here, but I heard Mr. Moss talking about Plant. I agree with him actually. That I think these some of these fights are fights that these guys were old for some reason.
Hold on. We got the Rebuttal Entertainment hating in the building. What's going on, Rebuttal Entertainment? Why you hating on Spence, man? Listen, I told you yesterday, if Earl the True Spence Jr. come back and win a belt, he's the comeback king. He great. You got to give it to him. You got to give it to him, Rebuttal. Okay, go ahead, Mr. Greg.
No, I just said I'm looking forward to some fights. We got some fights here that Riddick Bowe is behind later on this afternoon, which I'm gonna go to. But I think a lot of the guys who on this fight card were somehow were owed some fights. Uh, I think the fight with Rolly would he's always going to be entertaining. And so I think he'll always get on somebody's, he'll get put on a card somewhere, and they'll probably get him in some fights where he can win to keep him somewhat relevant. With Caleb, I agree with Mr. Moss again. I think he gets himself into purposely, in my opinion, into too many outside the ring
Oh,
incidents.
you didn't hear me say he's a bully? Caleb Plant is a bully.
Yeah, I think he does that on purpose. I think he
Yeah.
thinks. I think that may even be a way he's trying to market himself, making people angry that want to get him in the ring. Well, he'll get a payday when he gets in the ring. That's how I'm seeing him. And he may even truly be that kind of person in real life. But I think some of it or all of it is part of him trying to market himself so he'll keep getting these fights because somebody's going to want to beat him up and he'll get the fight and he'll get a payday and so on and so forth. But
He liked to throw rocks and hide his hand. He liked to be in situations where you really can't respond how you want. He like to make himself he like to agitate you, make
uh-huh.
himself a victim, catch you in a situation where you really can't respond, and then bully you and then cry victim
Yeah.
after it's all over. Like I don't like Caleb Plant for that. I like him as a fighter, but
Uh-huh.
him like how he threw that drink at Ryan Garcia. Like I get it. Ryan Garcia was talking about your wife or whatever, but y'all in the fight, big crowd of people. He got his security around him. You know nothing about to happen.
Yeah. And again, marketing. People remember that, just like remember what he did to Charlo, which I still don't know why that never got straightened out in the ring. But you know, what can you say? But that's a good backstory. Edgar Berlanga, I don't know how he got this opportunity this soon. Somebody, he had some good people somewhere in his business.
Canelo said he doing Eddie Hearn a favor.
It might be. He might be. I just know, and I don't know if what I read is true about Canelo getting 34 million and Edgar only getting 500,000. Yeah,
I
that's a
doubt
great favor. Uh,
I doubt that. He unless he's just gonna get a lot on the back end. That would be the only way I see him
and it
getting
depends on what the
500,000.
back end is. If you understand, if you know some of the, if you listen to even some of the bigger fighters who say they look, the back end money is never what it was supposed to, or they thought it was going to be. Is always a reason why they don't get as much on the back end. That's why some guys still want to get as much front end money as possible. But I think Edgar had very good people who got him this opportunity, because if he beats, which he won't, but if he beats Canelo, of course, that's going to be a great thing for him, and he'll get money going down the road, probably with the rematch or with some other fighters. If Canelo is not so embarrassed that he lost to him that he won't fight again. Um, I think who else is on
What
the
about the Laura Garcia?
Oh man, I think that's a late fight. I think it should have happened sooner, but I think it's sort of evenly matched right now. I think Laura, has never really had fantastic punching power, and we don't know what he's going to look like at 160. Same thing with Garcia, so I think it's a good even match. I tend to lean a little bit toward Laura in terms of his boxing ability. Garcia, you can't count him out because he's been in some situations where he still came out the winner. But I think that's a great matchup. I just wish it was. I wish they had stayed at 154 and been in that mix, because that division, as you know, has grown, and It's just would be a lot of matchups, and maybe they'll come back down. Who knows? I hope that happens too, so we can see these fights if we see them in enough. If they don't take forever to get made, that we'll see those fights as well. But I think that's an evenly matched fight. But I'm leaning toward Laura to win on points against Garcia. So that's how I see it.
All right, Mr. Greg with his 2 cents.
One other question: did y'all see that there's a Carissa Shields movie?
Yeah, I'm gonna watch that. It come out Christmas Day.
Okay, I thought maybe it
I
was
do
one
need
of
to talk
those.
about that. I need to show the trailer on here.
Oh yeah, I thought maybe somebody did an AI, and because
Oh
sometimes you
no.
see that going. Okay, great, that's
She
good.
talks about it on her Instagram. But I heard you say that the Laura Garcia and fight was evenly matched. I don't think so, and I'm gonna tell you why.
Mm-hmm.
Danny Garcia has been out of the ring 2 years. He's moving up in weight. And I heard him and his dad talking about how they don't spar unless they in training camp.
Oh, I didn't hear that. Okay, okay, that can make a big difference.
And I'm thinking in my head, like, come on, Danny. You already fight like your feet stuck in mud. And then you gonna get in there with Laura with all his footwork and his angles, like Mr. Moss say, and you've been out the ring 2 years not sparring and moving up in weight. I don't know. We'll see. We'll
Has
see.
Laura
Hopefully
been
it's
in
a
the
good fight.
ring lately?
Yeah, he just fought who Laura just fight, Mr. Moss?
He just fought. I want to say Sephora, his last fight in March.
Just knocked out somebody.
Yeah, and Greg. I mean, he's a WBA champ at 160, so I believe he's fought at 160 before.
See, I haven't seen him in the ring, and so
Yeah,
maybe I just missed his last couple of fights because I thought he'd been out of the ring for a while as well. Because I
yeah,
remember,
he just fought in March.
okay, because I remember him and Garcia was supposed to fight before. I
Yep.
think that was last year, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
We got
Okay.
Israel Bound and Cooking with Frank in the building. What's going on, y'all? Let me drop the link. See if anybody else want to come up here. And what about the Rolly fight, Mr. Greg?
Oh, I think that I love Rolly for whatever reason, and um, I actually hope he wins.
Me too. I think it's a
Yeah,
showcase fight.
Yeah, me
I,
too.
I hope he wins. I like how entertaining he is. He reminds me of oh man, the guy who got beat up by everybody, but he was always smoking outside the ring and at the press conferences. You know what I'm talking about? He fought De La Hoya, he fought
Oh,
Shane.
he was smoking in the press conference.
Yeah, he was smoking cigarettes and
Oh, Mayorga.
yeah, Mayorga. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's who he kind of reminds me of a little bit. So that's why you like Rolly because you know at least you're gonna get entertained.
Yep.
But we was just talking about that, Mr. Greg. I think you missed it before you hopped on here.
Yeah.
And I was pointing out to Mr. Moss that if you watch Rolly's last fight, he got better. He just wasn't able to execute and box like that with Pitbull because that's not how he fights. One,
Hmm.
and that was his first fight he had with his new trainer. But he was using the jab, he was putting something behind the jab, he was trying to
Hmm.
use his footwork. Rolly got better in that fight. It just was overshadowed because he got knocked out by Pitbull. But
Hmm.
Rolly is getting better. So I'm interested to see how he looks in this fight.
Well, we'll see. That's for sure. And I think I agree with you. I did see that as well. I think a lot of times guys who has some power and has some strength, they still tend to lean on that as opposed to improving their delivery
Right.
system and so forth. And
And
then Rolly's is an example of that.
that's why I'm glad he's getting better. He's not just not making changes or adjustments or anything.
Hmm.
And he's getting better. So we'll see how it works out for him. Cooking with Frank say, man, what happened to Ross? Anyone know if he's okay? I spoke with Ross a little while ago. He said he was coming back, but I don't know. I don't know. Ross had a lot going on. He had a lot of life changes and things he had to deal with, but I'm sure he will be back because we had a blast over there.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that because I hadn't. I think he came on your channel some time ago, and I kind of got a quick question in, but I was wondering what happened to him as well. So it's good to know that he's over whatever issues he had and causing some problems that he's overcoming them. Since you're saying he may be coming back.
It says it sucks how Rolly is more entertaining outside the ring than inside the ring.
Yeah,
Man, y'all be giving Rolly a hard time.
Man,
but to
bro.
be fair though, but to be fair though, 2 cents, or devil's advocate per se, Pitbull Cruz is not going to allow you to work on shit in the ring. He's just not. You know what I'm saying? I mean, he's
Yeah.
a pit bull coming forward. And so, unless you're used to that type of boxing style, same thing with Deontay Wilder when he got that new trainer. Like, you can't change your ways in one fight.
Yeah,
So,
that's
Roy's
true.
going to have to work on things in this fight today. And I don't think this guy he's fighting today is a pressure fighter like that, the way Pitbull Cruz is. So if you're Rolly, like, I mean, work on it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, if you got to give up a few rounds to work on some stuff, okay, that's cool. But he needs to get comfortable doing this, right? And not just that, Greg, be comfortable doing this in high pressure, tense moments, right? Because it seems like when you pressure him, he kind of shares up a little bit and he resorts back to his old ways. And so the thing is this, can you do what you do best under pressure? And so that's a sign of a good boxer.
The
But
guys
this,
who, I'm sorry, go ahead.
go ahead, Mr. Greg.
I was gonna say the guys who have to work on things who might have a little bit of name, the really reasonable way for them to do it, which none of them will do it now, is to fight off of TV and the lower profile fights where nobody's really watching, where that's not a lot of pressure on you.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you trying to come back and you got this big platform and you still know you need to work on some things, a lot of times you will fold because the pressure is still too much for most of them.
Right.
You can take 3 or 4 fights low profile, you're not on TV, and you can win, and you got a decent opponent where you can work on some things. I think it's better for those guys. Very few fighters will do that now, if any of them, because everybody wants a payday as soon as possible.
Correct.
Understandable as well, because one fight could end your career. So I get why they do it. It's a different day now, it's about getting the bag and all that other kind of stuff. So we'll see how it works out for them.
Yeah, that's a
And,
great
and
point.
and switching gears here, um, I want to ask, what is y'all's 2 cents about the Stephen Fulton fight and him not being on the main card, him fighting in the prelims? Like, what are y'all 2 cents about that?
He must have really got hurt more bad, worse than we know from the last fight with Inoue.
Right.
Something that's had to have
Either
happened.
that or he pissed off Al because they probably advised him not to go over there.
I was just about to say that as well. Either
There you go.
he done made Al mad, or he's. It could be both. It could really be both. But that's what I think it is, that he's being punished in some way. Even though I'm sure Al still got whatever piece of he was supposed to get from him taking an in-away fight, but that's not enough, because when you got your guys, the belts, the belt holders, whoever they are, the promoters want them on their side of the table where they can control the flow of money, who they fight when they fight. And when you step outside of that, even if you win, you still you made the promoter a little bit mad because he had less control.
Right.
So that could be it. And he could have gotten really hurt badly where they don't want to damage him further. So this is an idea. This is what I'm talking about, a lower profile, because he's not part of the main.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
Yep.
that might be what's going on too.
That's a great point, Greg. And I think you're right. Promoters want to be able to control their fighter. And when you go outside of your zone per se, and you have limited control, that takes an effect on your upcoming future fights. And I thought you made a great point as well with his performance. He got his ass beat. Let's just call a spade, right? There's levels to this in the sport of boxing. He was schooled, right? And when I first saw the fight with him and Inoue, I said, he's not like what is he doing? Like too soon, right? It's kind of like Big Baby Jared Anderson versus Bacola, too soon. And so sometimes, I'm saying, these big money fights, boxing is a business. And so is he damaged goods? I don't want to give him that title just yet. I want to see him because listen, I think one fighter losing one fight, we can't just say he's damaged goods. If he loses today's fight, then I can kind of lean that way. But I thought he got hurt in that fight, Greg, and I thought he was hurt bad in that fight. He got hurt bad in the body and he got hurt bad up top. And so there's some things that he needs to work on. And so, like you said, this actually proves your point. He's taking a lesser opponent on a more than favorable, promotional marketing that he probably doesn't like. But work on your boxing skill set, man. Because now, if you remember, 2 days ago he came out and said that he wants a rematch with Inoue, and I'm saying why? I mean, come on, bro.
That's crazy.
And he lost the belts.
And he lost the belts. So he lost
was a valuable commodity.
Correct.
To the promoter. You done lost what
lost the belts.
Gave you some value. Your belt. The belts still have value.
Mm-hmm. Can you, Greg, just real quick, 2 cents. When you watched that Inoue fight, speaking of Fulton, where did you see his flaws at? I mean, because I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, going into the fight, I thought
Inoue looked overmatched.
Was it the pressure, 2 cents? Was it the power? I mean, was it
looked
the
like
speed?
It was the speed, the power.
Speed.
Like he just was overmatched. Like, oh my God, like he like a deer in headlights.
He saw it. He saw it in. You could see he saw what the hell have I just got into.
Yeah,
you can see it in his eyes and his body language. It was saying, maybe this wasn't the whatever strategy they had.
Yeah,
you thought you were going to do. You found out very soon, very quickly, no, that's not going to happen this way. And it was too late. Once you're in the ring, if you're not prepared psychologically, because that's where you need to be prepared first. Whatever physical attributes and talents you have will follow suit. But once somebody done made you realize that you don't have enough, that's how you start fighting. And that's how I saw he was fighting. He had a moment when he got in a way. I think it was in maybe the 4th round.
Yeah, but you're right.
Other than that, that fight was, for all practical purposes, a little one-sided.
And also too, after that fight, I told myself, what did he work on in training? Did they watch film? Because after the fight, remember, he changed trainers after the fight. Remember,
it's two things.
Yeah,
it's two things. Either he was overmatched or he threw the fight. That's how bad his performance looked.
I don't think he threw the fight though.
Either he got your ass whooped or you did it on purpose. But look, this my last question, and I'm hop off because I only want to be up here an hour to chit chat about the card. Mr. Greg Moss, if y'all know, especially you, Mr. Greg, because you know a little bit more about this boxing history than me. Is it a thing for these fighters to go against their promoters and lose? Because so far what I've witnessed is fighters going against their promoters and they don't win. It always seems like a bad idea in hindsight.
I think what's happening, and I've said it a couple of times, fighters start thinking they're business people before they are. And they think they know the game. They know how to fight, but they're learning, but they don't know the ins and outs of this business and how many layers and what kind of machinations are going on behind the scenes well enough. But somebody says you got a big enough name, you should be able to do A, B, C, D, and E, and they start believing it, particularly when they got people in their ear and they're seeing some good press and they don't want a couple of fights. So they decide that they're going to try to do something that's contrary to what their promoters have asked them to do, want them to do, because usually they have a whole plan for you that you probably not even fully aware of or you didn't listen to. So a lot of times they just decide that they're going to go against the grain. They're going to go and do this, or they're going to go and do that, and they're not prepared. And every time they do it, just about, you see what happens. Somebody probably knew or probably was very much aware that, for instance, with the Fulton fight, that him going to Japan and fighting this guy was a bridge too far for him at that time. But because sometimes your ego, especially when you're young and you're trying to elevate very quickly instead of going through the right pace for where you are in your career, you make a jump and you jump off the bridge, so to speak. I mean, when he went in, that was a case right there that could tell you that you should have been listening to who was telling you not to do this. You should have been listening when your promoter was not really wanting you to do this. But because your ego and your pride and the fact that you thought you could elevate like being a guy like Inouye, you did it anyway, and you got there and you found out, like we all do when we,
He fucked around and found out.
yeah,
Hmm.
when we young. Sometimes, especially for males, and we think with our ego instead of with our common sense, that we usually end up paying the price. And usually, experiences can be very painful.
Well, my two
Okay,
cents on
okay.
this before you go, 2 cents, is this. I don't know who to trust in boxing, Greg. 2 cents. I don't know. And so, I mean, will a boxer lose a fight on purposely? Maybe so. Depends on timing and the contract situations. I don't know. Right. But the sport of boxing is so crooked and so rigged. You know, and Greg made a great point. I bet these guys are in quiet rooms in the back, and they got your career already outlined for you. You're gonna fight this guy. You're gonna fight that guy. We're gonna get him beat right here because they're listen. Promoters want to make as much money as they can with you, and then once you're like damaged goods, then they're gonna feed you to the lion's den, right? And it happens every single time. And so if I'm a boxer, I don't have no friends in boxing. And so let me close with this last statement, Greg. This is why the business of boxing is so important, right? You're not just a boxer. You have to be a businessman, right? You have to put smart people around you outside the ring. And that being said, that is why I appreciate Floyd Mayweather so much, is because he never let the business of boxing get past him. He knew every detail of a contract. He knew what was what. And so I have to appreciate that. But
Mhm.
again, bro, boxing is so corrupt. I don't know who to trust. And so, and then last point too, you talked about back end money. That's why fighters want guaranteed money up front because who's to say the promoters say, hey man, or the network say, yeah, on this fight, Tank and Ryan, you guys did 1.5, but they really did 2.5, right? And so that back end money, it's a sham, it's a scam, right? Yeah, you'll probably get a little something on the back end, but trust me, how do we really know what the numbers are? We don't.
They
You
gotta
know,
show them the numbers though.
They
It's
you
can
gonna
think
be
show
so?
fair.
them the numbers, but you can build all kind of expenses into what
Yeah,
the
Yeah.
cost of putting the fight on. And a lot of things that happen that people we don't talk about is you got to hire different entities to do certain things to put a fight on.
oh man,
Right.
yes.
How many of those entities do you have a secret interest in?
Or your LLCs.
Yeah. And
Right.
so,
I mean, that's smart business, Greg. That's
yeah,
smart business.
I know it's smart business. You're supposed to do whatever it is that you're going to do to flourish, but the fighter may not know that you hired this company to do this, and they charge five. Let's just use an arbitrary figure, $5,000. Okay, and it should have cost $1,000.
Correct.
So where's that 4,000 going to?
The
Probably
promoters.
it into your pocket
Yeah.
and somebody else's. And so you start looking when you look at the books, the numbers look right
Right.
when you look, until you go do what's called a forensic audit. And you
Yeah.
realize how come we paying 50% more for this, 75% more for that, and where did that money go to? And then you find out, well, your promoter daughter has the company, some stuff
It all
like
adds up, Greg. It
look
all
what
adds
happened
up.
to Mike Tyson when you found out that Don King's daughter was running his fan club at the cost of 150,000 a year. Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, all
Wow.
right. Y'all got any closing words? Last 2 cents.
Will you be on tomorrow?
I will be on tomorrow,
Okay.
5 p.m.
I'll join you
Okay.
tomorrow then. 2 cents. We'll
Yeah.
join tomorrow.
All
I'll
right.
join tomorrow.
Yeah, I'll come and
All right.
say hello and talk about what we saw tonight.
Yep. Enjoy the
Yeah.
fight,
Thank
you
y'all for
guys.
coming up.
All right,
Appreciate
Mr.
it.
Enjoy the
Ross.
fight.
Good to see
All
you.
right. You too, man.
All
Good
right.
seeing you, 2 cents.
Yeah,
All
good to
right.
see you too, 2 Cent. I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. See you tomorrow.
All right, sis.
I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I wanted to hop on today and talk about this card coming up tomorrow so we can come back and discuss it. Hopefully, we have an exciting night of boxing. Hopefully, we have a fun night of boxing. Um, hopefully, we get some competitive fights. hopefully Laura, Danny, we're gonna see who's able to pull it off. Can Berlanga get the upset? I don't know. I doubt it, but that's just my 2 cents. But listen, I want to thank everybody for joining me today. I'll be back tomorrow at 5 p.m. Make sure you punch that like and subscribe button. If you would like to monetarily support the channel, make sure you hit me in the Cash App at 2 Cents Boxing. I'm Jay, and stay tuned for my 2 cents in the next live.
Thank you.